In my first act of generosity tonight, one of our city workers, and we have a lot of city workers here in here with us tonight. Mr. Strabino, he said, Mayor, can we have 3 minutes on your agenda? I said, sure you can. I can't say no to our city workers. So at this time, I'm going to call Mr. Chris Benjamin in lieu of me giving my announcements and give you all that 3 minutes. There's one person who's going to speak on behalf of the city workers. You come now, right here. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you to the mayor and all the people that's sitting on the board. My first name is Chris, last name Benjamin. I want to thank all the solid waste department coming out, showing their gratitude, and I appreciate that humbly. It don't start with me, it starts with my whole management department, from admin to operations to the collectors. It's all of us. And we just have a few special demands that we want to, rectify based on what we've been going through. Because as essential workers, we're overworked and we're underpaid, of course, like every other department that's essential workers. We just basically want to, put this out and have a time frame when you guys can talk about some of the stuff that we need effective. Cost of living increase, annual raise. We want to talk about the hazard pay, better equipment, and I feel we should start paying our drivers at least $35 an hour. Collectors making about $28 an hour because we go over and beyond every day. And we want to talk about, getting a $5,000 bonus effective immediately, because we've missed a lot of steps, prior to COVID. So we're in agreement when you guys can, come and sit down and talk to us, because we're not going nowhere. We're here to stand, and we're going to, let our presence be known, because we make it happen for the city. And if I can't leave nothing behind, I want to pay something forward. That's my time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And like I said, I will be foregoing my announcements. And I will look now to my left to see if there are any announcements by my colleagues on my left.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just wanted to say thank you to our Immigrant Affairs Office. Thank you for representing Japal from Say Umpu. Thank you, and it's all right to speak French whenever you want. But specifically for what's going on here tonight, to see I see our city staff, our city workers here, but what I also see is the narrative that folks don't usually talk about, and I see a lot of black men working, and I appreciate that. I know what people say about us in the streets, but thank you for being committed, and I want you to know that we're committed as well, and we're going to find a way to get there. And I know we have a lot of ladies working as well, but I see overwhelmingly a large representation of black men handling your responsibilities, and I just want to say I see you, and I appreciate that.
To my right, colleagues.
Thank you. I also want to just thank you all for being here this evening, especially as city workers, and knowing that this past budget cycle we weren't able to make that 2% increase. It's heartbreaking, but I do know that this cycle we will make sure that that is done. And I do want to hold up the petition that you shared, and noting that I think it's reasonable to ask for these demands, just in light of how much exertion you have to do to fill in those vacancies as workers for the city. I also just wanted to note This weekend, we had both NCCU and Duke win their football games. And what was disturbing to me was to notice for any Spectrum viewers, they were unable to see most of that because it was on ABC. And what I'm noting is that there's this lack or this gap that's developing where you're paying more for your services and getting less. And just as workers, you're doing more and getting less, and we have to be able to do something about that. And so I do want to bring it to the attention of council and figure out what we can do, because I noticed DTV8 is unavailable and all of those channels, but we're still paying the same rates. There's an underswell of there's a different kind of inflation. And I'm not sure how it's going to land or work, but I do want you to know that I'm here and I'm fighting for you. And I'm making sure that I'm paying attention to the needs of our city and the people in this city. And I do want to appreciate you all for being here tonight.
Any other announcements?
Thank you. Good evening. I also want to just say thank you to the city workers who came to speak this evening. We know you all work very, very hard. Yesterday being Labor Day, it's clear that labor is on the rise again in this country, and that's a good thing. I also want to just talk briefly about Welcoming Week. I just want to thank both NIS and NIO for all the work that they're doing in this during this week. It's really important. So next week will be the 50th anniversary of the Chilean coup. I am Chilean, and so the kind of convergence of both Welcoming Week and that are interesting and hard. A historic event that predates me by several years happened, and it changed the trajectory of my family's history. We emigrated to the United States partly because my father was in a field that was being persecuted in Chile at the time. Ironically, so were a lot of labor organizers. A lot of labor organizers had to flee because they were being detained, tortured, killed, and they left. And so next week there will be a gathering of Chileans in Durham. I look forward to that gathering. But it is, when we see what's happening in this country, it is consistently a reminder that we can lose democracy easily. We've almost lost democracy in this country. And the after effects on a culture and a society do not go away for a long time. I have family that does not speak to one another. I have family that has not seen each other in decades because they are so politically polarized from an event that happened 50 years ago. My uncle was detained and was able to get out because my grandmother was able to find him and get him out quickly enough. And he fled. He left Chile for a long time, and then when was able to return, was blacklisted because he was an attorney that had worked for the Allende government. The Allende government is who was kicked out of Chile. All of these things are reminders of how important it is to vote, how important it is to participate, how important it is to show up and to protest. So thank you for being here this evening. It is not lost on me at all, the power that you all hold and how important it is.
I'm sorry, I have given up all the time that I can, okay? But you can come back on Thursday and sign up at the regular Citizens Matters at 1 o'clock, okay?